simpler just to share my experience with you. So without wasting my time, I think it's just 1 hour. So let me just start the machine. And I don't know. I hope most of you know the tryhackme platform, how it works. So I start my machine.
No, please.
You don't know how the platform works. Okay, so the tryhackme platform is like a place where you can practice your skills. Okay, like you learn, and then if you want to practice, you can practice there. At the same time, you can also learn there. So like yeah, you can do both of these things there.
Will it be possible, since some don't know, can you go to the sign up? I think some Nest people join us, so they're very new to the whole thing. Maybe
Okay, so
you could
then
waste
let me just
a little
sign
time
out.
to how to sign up, all those things for them, how to get the room. Yeah. Then
All right,
you'll
sure.
be better off. Thank you.
I think I'm logging out so I can let's just hide this thing. All right, so the URL is just this one, https tryhackme.com, and then this is I don't know if you can hear me now. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, sure. And then this is just their front page, and then you can go through it, and then there are so many things you can read here. So like when you get to the time and then you are there, you just go through this one. But if you are now, if this is your first time, you can join for free by clicking the join for free. And then I think, yeah, this is the sign up stuff. Input your username, email, password. I just hope you're not a robot. If you're a robot, then I don't know how you'll be able to pass this test. But then if you're a human being, no problems. You can pass this test and then sign up. Or you can just sign up with your Google account and then you are good to go. So I guess that is just how to sign up. So let's say I already have an account, so let me just log in as if I remember my password. So I think the name is most of the times I don't remember the password. Let's just hope I do it this time. Let's get something from this side. I'm not about to type the password here, okay? I'm just looking at certain things. All right, I think that's it. All right, so then I check the captcha. Let's see if I'm a robot. It says bridges. So I think there's a bridge. There's another bridge. I don't know, there's one bridge. There's one here. So let's verify. And I guess I'm not a robot, so let's log in. Hopefully it doesn't tell me it's a wrong password. All right. So I'm in my dashboard. That is me. Now, if you want to also practice the room, it's actually a medium box. Like if you want to practice, or if you want to look for the rooms or the boxes, this is how you do it. There is dashboard here, and then you can go to learn. Okay, so you click on learn, and it gives you this drop down. And then if you want to learn, you go to learn. If you want to practice, they have this section where they've grouped certain boxes or challenges you can practice on. Or if you have a particular room you want to just search for, click on search, and then it's going to take you to where most of the rooms are. So yeah. And yep, since it's search, we are going to have like so many rooms here, and then you can search using this search bar. Okay. At the same time too, you can filter the boxes or the machines using the tabs here. If you want all the boxes, you can filter it. You can just leave it at all. If you want free, like I am using a free account, go to free, and then just click on the drop downs here to just get different options, and then just select them to filter it. If you have the box in mind, I think the name is Hask. I think something like this. Hask. Is it a mirror feeding? Okay. I don't remember, something like this. SHHASHK, and then I think there's a hell. Uh-oh. Is it this one? It doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like any of this. Let's see. I think it's going to be this one. Yep. All right, so I search for the box and then I get it, and then yeah, I have the box here. Click on the box, and it opens for me. Now with tryhackme, what they do is like they have this network setup that the boxes are lined on. Okay, so you just click on the start machine to start a particular box, and you are given an IP address which belongs to the box itself. And then to access the machines, you have to be on their network. Okay, so you download what we call a VPN configuration file. Yeah, and download it from this side. So if you log inside your profile here, just click on it and go to access and just wait for it to load. Based on the internet connection, it will be a bit faster. Yep. If it comes, then you're interested in downloading the configuration file here. Okay. So I guess downloading the configuration file and knowing where to locate the room alone is actually okay, and then you can let's start. But then to start the process, I'll start so you know what I'm doing. So I've already started my box, and then I've added an additional hour because tryhackme's boxes they just have like 1 hour, and then you can add an additional 1 hour to it. So I have like 1 hour and 53 minutes. So let's connect to the box. Okay, so using the terminal, I had this network problem. That's why this is here. All right, so connecting to the box, we use what we call the OpenVPN. It's a tool that allows us to connect to a tryhackme VPN, and that's just what I know for now. So I can connect to it, and then using the sudo command, which helps us leverage the root privileges, even though we are not root. Okay, so sudo, then you type the command. I don't know. Can you see that from the terminal?
Or should I maybe bigger a little? I don't know. Maybe someone have eye problem.
Yeah. All right. I guess
yes,
this is
better now.
All right. So like there's sudo, there's open, and then there's VPN. And then if you are into Linux already, you just specify where your VPN file is. And then mostly the VPN file is stored in your username in tryhackme. Okay. So what I'm doing is right now, this is my directory. This is my current directory. And I'm trying to go locate my VPN file from this side. Yeah. And then I hit OK. And it tells me that I should type my password because I'm trying to use the root privileges. So I don't know if I know my password. All right. Yeah. So let's just zoom this thing out. Zoom this thing out so that now mostly what I used to check if I'm connected is this phrase here or this statement here. Initialization sequence completed. Then I know that I'm connected to the VPN, and then there's no problem. So now I can start doing what I'm here to do. All right, so before I start, let me just copy the IP address from the machine. So I copy the IP address to my clipboard. That's my terminal. All right, so then I just ping it. Ping is just checking if I can communicate with the box. Okay, I'm using the ping command to just see if I can communicate to the box, just to check if I have connectivity. All right. So if there's replies coming through, so I guess yes, we can have we are connected to the VPN, and then there's no problem. All right. So this is more of like a CTF style. So how I go about this thing is immediately I start. With tryhackme, you already get some information about what the box is. Okay, so I just read those ones about what the box is about, and then I mostly start with my nmap scan, and then these are the flags I use. So nmap is a network mapper or a tool that we can use to scan for open ports and services on a system. Okay, so just this. I use the tag SC so that I can run various scripts, and then I think SV would give me like versions of certain services that are running on the system. So versions, and then run most of the script scans, which gives me more information about the target. And mostly to use the tag ON, something like that, I think it's this one, so that I can output it into a text file, and then I just name it scan.txt, and then I paste my IP address there. I mostly save my scan so that in case I'm not able to finish with a box for a particular time, the next time I come, I just have the scan. I don't have to go through this process again. Okay. And it looks like I wasted a few minutes, so I think I have the scan already done. I just clear the screen and then try to display the scans for you. All right, let's zoom out. And if I'm moving fast, then you let me know. Okay. All right. So with this box, it looks like scanning it. We have some ports here. So under the port section, you realize there are some ports here, like port 22, which is for SSH. And from where I've been starting from, most people tell me that you don't start with port 22 if you don't have credentials. And then, so you just leave 22 for now. And it says port 2106 TCP is filtered. So if it's filtered, maybe we can come back to that later. But
Jeffrey, sorry to interrupt your talk. I think a hand is raised.
Okay, sure, no problem.
So, Jeff, I think you are aware some people, based on your presentation, it seems you are talking to experts. The green color of the text said IP addressing. Can you please brief them on what the box, so that you made them aware of at the end the objective of what you are doing?
Okay, sure. All right. So okay, so let's see. He says box and IP addresses.
I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
I can get that. All right. So an IP address is simply just like what we use to identify human beings. Okay. But this time, because we are dealing with computers, we don't give them names. We give them addresses to identify them on a network. So what I copied from the tryhackme dashboard here is what is used to identify this particular box. And then I'm saying box because they are just vulnerable machines that are set up so that we can use to practice and then maybe test our skills. So to locate this box or this machine, which is the HaskHell machine on the tryhackme's network, we don't know its name, even though we know the title to be HaskHell, but we don't use names. Computers don't even understand names. So yeah, in networks, we just give them this address, okay, to identify a particular machine on the network. So now it's giving it this IP address so that we recognize that this IP address belongs to the HaskHell box on tryhackme. And then I've gotten the IP address, and what I do is perform a network scan, okay, on the target or on the box, just to know what we are working with, to find the open ports and services on that machine. Okay. Now with the green on black is just this is just what we call a terminal. Okay. So what I'm working with is a terminal, and then that is my style of, that is how I like it. Looks nice and let's say okay for my eyes. Okay. So that green on black text is just, you can change your color. Okay. I just prefer this one. So I perform what we call an nmap scan to find services and then open ports, because whenever you want to, whenever you want to perform an attack on a particular system or you just want to check certain things, you need to first check if there are ports open. If there are ports, what services are running. If the services that are running, check for the versions. Maybe some of the versions might be vulnerable. That is why in my nmap scan I have the -SB here to check for version numbers. So you realize at the results there are services are here, which is SSH, HTTP, HaskHell, and then you have versions here, and then you can check the version numbers. Okay, I don't know if I did justice to what Mr. Roxon was asking about.
No. We are trying to achieve. That's the only thing that I was interested.
Okay, so what we are trying to achieve is to get into a machine. It's a CTF, like CTF based something. So even though it has this real world mentality, you get into a machine and then you get certain sensitive information from the machine. Okay, and then with CTFs, we call those things flags. Okay, you get into the machine, get the flag, and then at least you've been able to do something. So you get in as a low privilege user, and then you are trying to what we call escalation, to actually get yourself at a higher privilege user, and then maybe get more sensitive information from that place, and then you'll be good to go. But that's the aim for what we are doing now. Is it okay?
Oh, yes, please. Yes, you can proceed.
For some time I thought I was out. Alright, so I scan the machine and then I see some port numbers like 22, which is for SSH, as I said. And then it's open, but I said that from where I started this journey, most people say that you don't start with SSH if you don't have credentials, because SSH is a remote, it's used to connect to a service or let's say a system remotely. And then remotely you need username and password. If you don't have these credentials, then you can't even you can't do it. So just leave SSH and then start with the ones that look okay to you. So checking here, this 2106 is filtered. Okay, it's filtered. Probably maybe like something is blocking it or something. Yep. And then this is the service that is running on it. Then we come down to 501, which is another port, and it says open, and it's HTTP, which is a web server, or like it means that there's a web server or there's a web service running on the box. And then this is whatever is running that web service. Okay, and then these are the version numbers. These are the version numbers of this tool here that is running on the web service. Okay, so just with that, it also tells us that there's a title which says home page, and then there is a server header which is just repeating what is here at this side. Then the rest of the ports here are actually filtered out. Yeah, they are filtered out. So without wasting my time, I think 26 minutes in. What we normally do is, since there is HTTP running on the system, okay, now the IP address of the box can help us access the HTTP service of the box. The IP address of the box can help us actually access the HTTP service to see whatever is running. Just like mostly it's like websites that, or web applications that are going to be run on HTTP or HTTPS. So what I can do is come to my browser, and then because I already have the IP address pasted, hopefully I do have it copied. I paste it inside, and then let's see, I hit enter. Now, it doesn't connect to the network for me because it doesn't really know what that is, okay? Because if you go back to look in the scan, why is Parrot? Yeah, if I go back to look at the scan, or if you go back to look in the scan, HTTP, the default port for HTTP that the web browsers know is port 80. So either you specify it or not, it's still going to add the port 80 there for you. But here, it is not 80, but what? 501 or 5,000, 501, yeah, 5,001. Yeah, it's 5,001. So that means we need to specify this port because the browser doesn't know this port. So we just have to add the port number, which is like a gateway, okay, like an opening on the box, okay. And then it even tried appending the S here for us, which stands for which means that maybe we are trying to visit a secure network. The S is an advanced form of HTTP, which stands for, I think, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, or is Secured Hypertext Transfer Protocol. All right, so we have to first check that. Can you see the browser? And should I zoom in? If I zoom in, it doesn't zoom the entire window. It's just zooming the text. All right, so let me just type what I'm doing here. All right, so this is what I'm doing. So let me come here. Let's see if I can zoom this one. This one too doesn't even look like it's been able to zoom. Let's see. It's not able to do it. Control Shift plus. All right. Yeah, please just forgive me with the way the operating system is viewing my stuff. So to add a port number to a particular IP address, you use. Am I audible? Am I audible? I'm thinking I'm out of the meeting. Oh, it means I'm still audible, right? Oh, okay, sure. All right, I wasn't hearing any voice. That is why. So let's go back. So to add a port number to an IP address, we use the colon, and then we add the port number, which is 500 or 5001. Then we hit on enter. Okay, so now you hit on enter, and then we get a page, the home page of the website. It's like this is what is just running on port 5001, and it says welcome to functional programming. So I first had to check what HaskHell is actually, or what it is, and then it talks about functional programming and stuff. Okay, so let's just see. Whenever I get to a box like this, what I try to do is just view the page source to see if maybe there are certain things I can get from there. It's just part of the information gathering process. Okay, maybe there is something serious or maybe something appetizing that I can get from that place. Yeah. Right. So I right click and then go to view page source. I think maybe I'll have to zoom this thing in. All right, so let's see if I can zoom it. All right, so I guess this one, yeah. I zoom in and I realize, okay, just whatever is on the web page that is inside the page source, line 16 lines, and then I just stretches to the side. So for me, I didn't think there was anything here for me to do. I just go back to my home page, and I think there's a link here. And now, hovering on the link, there is an indicator at the bottom here. Okay, so hovering on the link, I realize it doesn't take me outside the box, or it doesn't take me outside the network. It's still within that network, which means I can click on it. If it was something like HTTPS taking me outside, I wouldn't click on it. Most of the times I don't do, because it will be taking me like to an external source, which is not relating to what I'm doing. So I just click on, at least we just have to read this one, which says that it's talking about some assignment. Okay, so you can find your first assignment at homework. Is my audio being interrupted? Hello, is the audio being interrupted?
Yeah, there are some background sounds.
All right, so I guess I'd have to move from this side because there's one guy here. Okay.
I think we can manage. Your voice is a bit higher, so.
Oh, okay, sure. Then let me just maintain the place. But please, if you have a question, maybe you can stop me mid so that I try doing some explanations and stuff.
Jeffrey, are we recording? Because I don't know if Clement is recording for me.
For me, I'm not recording. Okay, Clement is recording.
Yes, I'm recording. The section is
All right,
recorded.
Clement, thank you.
All right, so I see homework here, and then it doesn't take me outside the network, as I was saying. So at least I can click it and then just with the notion that I'm still going to be within the working area. So I click on homework here, and then looking at the instructions here, welcome to your first homework assignment. Your problems are as follows. I don't do functional programming, so looking at this one, I don't think I'm going to solve this homework. I'm going to do it. Okay. So it says, okay, we are supposed to perform all these tasks, and then when we are done, we are supposed to submit your homework. So whenever I hear submit, it means I'm going to send a file to someone. Okay, I'm going to send a file to someone, and then it just makes me feel like, okay, I can send a wrong file to the person, and then if the person opens it, whatever is inside the file is going to be what is going to take over, or maybe going to act. And then reading from this side, it says only HaskHell files are accepted for uploads. Learn that the hard way, and then your file will be compiled and run. And then this one even just gives me much joy that my file is going to be compiled and run, which means the file is going to be executed on the victim, or let's say the end user, whoever is going to receive the file. We're going to compile and run the file. So if someone is going to compile and run the file on their system, it means I can get a connection to that system. Okay, so I can establish a connection between my machine and their machine. So immediately they run my file, it will give me back a connection. Okay, so mostly they call that like a reverse shell. So I try to run a particular shell on their machine, but now this time I don't run it on their machine, but it will reverse that shell or that connection to me. So instead of popping the shell inside their machine, the shell is popped up in my machine instead, and I can control, or let's say access their files from the shell that was given to me as a result of uploading the file and then them actually executing the file. So let's see, mostly I don't know if that's something about like file uploads vulnerability stuff there. If you're able to upload the files and then I'm not sure because file uploads will have to do something different. All right, so without wasting much time, this just reading this and then I don't have to upload the file. It says HaskHell files are supposed to be uploaded, and now it's telling me that HaskHell files are going to be accepted. Also hints me that if I'm to submit any other file apart from a HaskHell file, it's going to omit it. So it says I can submit the file here. So it's at /uploads, and then I click here, and then /uploads doesn't work. All right. So if it's not working, okay, /uploads is not working, and then let's see what we can do, because definitely we'll have to submit the assignment, right? /uploads is not working, or upload is not working. It says the request URL was not found. If you enter the URL manually, please check your spelling. Okay, we didn't enter it manually. It was actually given to us. By the system, and then so if it was given to us by the system, that means it's not a problem from our side, but it's actually going to be from the system. And then since the system is mostly said to be that a bit vulnerable, there is one thing I didn't do when I started. Okay, so I start to check for files and folders that are not displayed for me. Okay, because at the first time I only had the interface, which is just this part. I think it's 501. I only had this part, and then I could see there is /homework1, which when I click brings me here. So now I know that there is homework1 as a file on the system, and then there is uploads, but I don't know if there are any other files that can help me that can actually give me a bit information. So still on the information gathering process, we can do what we call directory fuzzing. Okay, directory fuzzing, like just to let's say brute force the system to check for files using a particular word, using what we call particular words. Okay, so brute forcing, I'm just going to feed the system with popular files that web developers might create, just to see if we have something like that on the system. Okay, so let me use a tool here to do that. Open new tab. All right, so there's a tool called FFUF. It has a full meaning. I don't want to say that here. Okay, so let's see how it works. So I just hit W5, and then it brings me to the manual page, or let's just an instruction page of how the tool is going to work, or let's say how I can use the tool. So just go through these instructions to read how you can use the tool, right? And then come here. It says example usage. So we have this example usage here. You can either copy it and then use it. Okay, but let's go by different formats using F5 -u, which stands for the URL, and then it's http:// do I have the IP address? All right, so I have the IP address copied, and then I can add the port number, which is 501, so 5001 / how this one works. It has a particular syntax. So if you look here, -u here at the end, where do you want the words to be placed? It says where you want the words to be placed, just use a capital fuzz. Okay, just use a capital fuzz, so FUZZ, and then you are good to go with the URL section. When you are done, it says specify the words you want to, wherever you have, or where you have those words you want to use to what? Fuzz, or let's say brute force the system. So I have to look for what we call a word list. And if you're using Kali, there are so many word lists that comes with it, and then you can also download some. Okay, so by default, or let's say mostly word list in Kali is located in. So to specify the word list, we use the -w, as you can see here. So -w, and then you add your word list file. Okay, So -w/usr. I'm just locating my word list. User share word lists. All right. Deb. Okay, so this is where my word list is located. As he was saying, we might have beginners in our midst and who might not understand this. What I'm typing is the path to where the word list is located. Okay, the path or the location of the word list from wherever I am. Okay, so there, and then let me use the big.txt, and then when I'm done, let's see if I hit enter. Is it going to work? Right. So it accepts it and then it starts working. There is this huge number. It will have to go through all these ones to give us the exact match. So, and then right now we are at, I think, 1,000 and something. Okay, so we might, in your engagement, you might want to wait for some time. Okay, you might just want to wait for some time and then you might get results. When you get the results, you start. If you don't get results, you can use different word lists. There are so many places you can find this one. So for instance, as it's running, let me just do a quick demo to show you like where I actually had this one. So let me come to this side. Now I said it was at /user. The / actually means the root of the system, so like the root of the file system. Okay. So I just come here. Let's see if I can get the root. Where is it located? It's actually a bigger problem if this. Okay, so I have my roots here. Okay, so this is the root here. I can't zoom into this one, the file system here. It's just only going to zoom in the files for me, not actually the path here. But if you look here, there is a /. Okay, that is where I started from. And then the first one after the / there was USR. So I have to look for USR. This is home. Let's see. All right. All right. So it's here. So user or USR. And I went to share. That is share. And there are so many folders here. Okay. But what I typed was word list. So I look for WOR. And then there's word list here, somewhere here for me. So this is where I came to and I hit enter. Okay, well, I just went inside that folder again and it was DIRB, D-I-R-B, which is this one. Go inside and then there was big.txt, which is this file. Okay, this file is the big.txt. So this is where I have all the word list stored. It's not mine, okay, it was just inserted or it came as a package in the Parrot OS. So this is the word list I used. And then that is how come I have this here. Okay, like all these things here. All these things here. All right. So it might take a while and then we are almost I think it's almost time is almost not an answer. So, let's see. I already ran the, I think, so as I said, I've done the box some time ago. And then I remember the hidden directory. We'll still let this one run so that after it's done, I'll just show you the result. Okay. So I know the hidden directory the hidden file that we are not seeing. Okay. Instead of it being /, it's here, it says upload. When we click here, it doesn't work. It's actually / what submit. It actually submit. Yep. It's actually / submit. And then we have a portion or a place. I think there's a hand up. Or someone just joined. All right.
No, we have a hand up.
Okay.
I'm trying to look at the person. Oh, it's a mistake. I saw a hand up. I think it was a mistake.
All right. Okay, so I have this file here and it says submit your assignment and it says HaskHell files are supposed to be submitted. And then mostly how we identify the files that are submitted is based on the file extensions. Okay. And the file extensions is that dot something, that the trailing part of a file, dot something. Okay, that's dot something there is a file extension. It identifies the type of file. So what I can search for is maybe HaskHell extend edition like this. I don't know. It looks like that. All right, so it will actually just using Google. Okay, So it says the HaskHell file extensions, what do they even end in? And then I have it says the two common extensions are SH and LH. That is the two common extensions for HaskHell files, which means I need to create a file with the extension HS to represent HaskHell. Else, the system isn't going to accept it. But better still, let's just see. Let me try uploading a file, my scan. Okay, so I can go to browse and then hack the box. All right, let's just upload this zip.txt file and let's see. Upload. It might even work. Okay, it might work. Let's see what happens
Yeah,
after.
please. After this, can you send us the tutorial?
I think it will be posted inside the Discord channel. So, yeah. All right, so I was able to upload.
Zitavia, I think you want to ask a question because you keep on raising your hand. I think we can move on.
All right, so I uploaded a TXT file and then it didn't give me any error message. I didn't see any error message. So I guess it's accepted. But I want to just do something with the file. Since someone is going to compile it, the TXT file can be compiled by HaskHell. Okay, so we need to first get a file that can be compiled by HaskHell and then be executed. Okay, so there is a place where you can get it. You can go through the HaskHell documentation and then you can see how we can write HaskHell codes. But what we want is a reverse shell. Okay, a script, or let's say lines of code that will try to pop up, or let's say launch a shell. Well, when I talk about a shell, I mean it's going to launch up, let's say the command prompt of the system onto our machine. But they're going to like bring it in reverse. Instead of launching it on the system, it's bringing it to us. Okay, so I didn't go through the stress of having to go through the documentation because there was this place where you can find the reverse shells with E. So revshells.com, I guess will do that for me. So I just go to revshells.com and let's check our scan. Let's see. Let's parrot something. All right, so now my scan is done. Okay, and you realize this is what I had. So the submit I was talking about, if we had waited for some time, you realize we'll get this submit, and the status is 200, which means it's actually a valid something, and then if we access it, we'll get something back. So like status code 200, then it took like something like a 200 milliseconds and stuff. So that is the submit I used. Okay, so that is how this FF works. So it just goes through the word list and then submits it to the system. When it gets a match and then it gives you that the actual word, then you can use it here. Right. So I go to this place, revshells generator or revshells.com, and then this place gives you like, if you want a reverse shell, just click here. If you want a bind shell, use this one. If you want an MSF Venom, which is something different from what we are doing today, yep. So here I want a reverse shell, okay, and then I just don't do any configurations. But let me search for HaskHell, and then it's interesting and it's wonderful how they have HaskHell here. So I just click on HaskHell, and then looking at the code. Before that, you first have to specify your IP address here, and then the port which you will listen on, because you are going to bring back a shell to you. So you are on the network. So this is your IP address. This is what the machine is going to use to locate you. And what port, okay, what window are you opening to accept that connection? Okay, what window, or let's say a port, okay, what door are you opening on your system to accept that connection? And I'm using port 443 to accept that. And immediately I insert the IP address here and then the port number here. It's also fed into the reverse shell. Okay, but before that, let me check my IP address to see if I'm really on the right track. I think I just have to clean this. All right. So to check my IP address, I just use IPA, and then I'm giving this to see my IP address. Because the VPN, we are interested in tan 0. Okay, it's a VPN we are connecting to, so tan 0, and I have to copy this IP address 10.8.24 156. That's the IP address I have to copy and then feed it into the reverse shell script here. 10A24. Yep. It's already there. And then what I do is just copy the code. Okay, so I can just click on copy. So I copy the code and then go back to my terminal. Most of the times we'll be working with the terminal. So I go back to my terminal. Let's see what is here. This is my nmap scan. So I can just clear this screen and then create a file ending in .hs. So using a text editor like Nano. Okay, Nano is a text editor that comes pre-installed with Linux operating systems. So can just do Nano and then give it a name and then add the extension, HS. So I'm creating the file and then Nano will automatically open the file for me. So it opens the file for me. So like this is like a raw text editor, okay, like your notepad, okay, but notepad is a bit nicer than this. Then I just paste the code inside. So I paste the code inside and yeah, if there was much time, we'd have to go through like what the code actually does. So I paste the code inside and then I save the code. Now I've saved it. So if I list my files, I have the test.sh here, HS. We used to sh so much. So like test.hs here. That is my HaskHell file that is going to be compiled and run by the end user, someone somewhere, okay, who thinks this is my assignment. So what I can do now is now set up what we call a listener. Because it's going to create a reverse shell, I have to listen to it. So I need to create a listener. That listener is going to what? Open that port I talked about. Okay, that listener is going to open the. I say like you are listening to something. Okay, like you are listening to something through a particular door. So you send your ear there through that door, and then you want to listen to it. So immediately the information comes, you hear it, and then if you want to spread it, you can spread it. Okay, so we set up a listener using the tool called netcat. Okay, netcat. But then this is not how we set up the listener. So we just set up the listener using the nc command -nvlp. Okay, and then we have the port number, which is I think was 443. All right, and then we hit enter. Now it tells me it can't grab with bind. I think because 443 is a popular port used by the web services. I don't really know. This is the first time I'm seeing this one in Parrot. My first time using Parrot. I've been using Kali and then my laptop is moving around. So I think someone has a hands up. All right, so I guess you can control. So since it didn't give me permission, it's even saying permission denied. I can go back and use the super user do command or the sudo and then what? The netcat -nvlp on the same port 443 and then hit enter. Now it's asking for my password, and then I type the password, and it says listening on. Now this is like, I think these are the interfaces, and then this is the port. Okay, so any interface, even if I don't specify my IP address, and then if I have like an interface address specified inside the reverse, I'm sure it would work because it's listening on any interface on port 443. And then what I can do is just come back to the submit the assignment. And then go to browse and then locate my HaskHell file, which is this one, and then submit it, and then just sit down and just be hoping that someone will actually open the file and what? Compile it. So I can just leave my netcat listener here, hope that someone opens the file, and then he compiles it and runs it, and then when he runs it, the reverse shell is going to create that reverse shell and then bring it back to me. So let's see. Let's just hope it works. It's still loading. Mostly hanging means good news, but it's not all the time that hanging means good news. Sometimes it might be hanging because your network is not. All right. So let's see. It actually displayed everything and said fail. Wow. Oh, okay. It says failed in the web browser, but it doesn't say failed in my terminal. So I don't really care about whatever happened here. If I'm supposed to care, then at least I might think Venice can just prompt me. Maybe I'm supposed to care about that. But then we have a shell. Okay, I don't know if you are seeing it, but this is my normal shell here. This is how my interface looks like. and then this is a different interface altogether. The double sign. Okay, we have a shell, and now we are inside someone's machine, someone who opened the files machine. So mostly when I get into it, when I get a shell, the first command I run is the ID to see if I'm not still me. Okay, I hit enter and it says I'm Flask, which means I'm not me. My name on my box is Troy, but here it says Flask, which means I'm not me. Okay, I'm in a different person's machine, or I'm inside the box. All right.
I think somebody wants to ask a question. Wisdom.
Okay, sure.
Wisdom, you can ask a question. I don't think he's ready or he has a problem with his network. So, Wisdom, you can leave a question in the chat. Okay, I think we can proceed when he comes back.
All right, sure. So, all right. As I was saying, I'm inside someone else's machine, and then I just found that you can't see my screen. Either you can't see the screen, or the writings are smaller.
No, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It's probably from the device the person is using.
Can you rotate your screen or something? Wisdom. If you're on a phone, try rotating it so that you get a better view or something.
Try, you can proceed.
All right, sure.
Went off. I can't see anything.
Okay, so I'm inside the shell, or let's say in the box. Okay, so I run the ID command, and then I'm actually Flask with some seeing the UIDs. It looks like I'm a different person, and I can also run the who am I command to know who am I, and it still says Flask. Okay. So I get there, and then let's proceed. It's official, like it's a CTF something. So the first thing I did when the first time I did the box.
Yeah, it's light out here. I'm not using my laptop.
The first time I played the box, when I got into the system, I was looking for a flag. Okay, so let's just see. So I was just looking for a flag. But before that, whenever you get a shell like this, it's not mostly stable. Okay, so most of the time we try to make our shell stable by doing certain things. I don't have it off head, but just I don't know if it's a promotion or something, but I normally use this resource to make my stuff stable. So Siren Security. Okay, so you can visit Siren Security and then check the Linux privilege escalation part, and then you would see how to get your shell stable. But let me just do a quick one using Python. It's not going to be that stable, but at least it will just let us know that I'm a different person. So let's see if we have Python installed. So which Python will actually tell us if we have a path, which plus a tool will tell us if we have the tool installed. If you get the path of the tool, it means the tool is actually installed. If you don't get anything back, it means the tool is not installed. So I can use Python hyphen, I think it's going to be C, and then double quotes, imports, pty dot spawn, then this one, single quotes, /bin, bash, I think there's going to be another single quote, closing bracket, and then this one is supposed to work. It didn't work. I think pyt. Oh, all right. Python hyphen C. Let's see that one. pty dot sp. Let's see. Bin bash, and then do this, and this one will work. Let's see, is it going to work?
No, it's not going to work. It's a semicolon in between, not a dot.
All right, so this boy is trying to just move fast because of time. Last week we actually exceeded time, and then I'm trying to. Let's just check if it's okay. So before I hit enter, I guess if people can check it for me. Let's see. Is it okay now?
It should be fine.
Alright. So then I think this one shows us that we are inside the HaskHell, and then let's export term so that I can clear my screen. And then I think I can undo clear. And so I'm here, and then mostly when I'm inside the machine, I just try to go around and look for stuff. So at the first time, I just look at. So right now, I know I'm in my home directory as a Flask user. So I just do ls, hit enter, and then I'm only seeing app.py and then app.pyc, and then there's this py cache and uploads. The uploads is where I was able to upload my reverse shell or my test, my homework to. So I'll not come there now. If the need arises, I'll come there. Okay. And then the app.py, since it's like a Python file, that is the actual website. Okay. So like the web itself, the web page we saw is actually inside the app.py. So I just try listing everything. Maybe there's something hidden I didn't see. So first time doing it, I didn't really see anything interesting here. No. So what I normally do is just go back to the root directory and then list everything inside the root directory to see if there is anything off. I don't even know if there's anything off. Let's see. Bin boot dev. We don't go into it now. Let's see. Now, if I want to check if there are other users inside the system, okay. So to check if there are other users, I know where the users are always stored. They're always stored inside the home directory. So if you want to check if there's a user on a system, you can either check inside this directory, the home directory, or better still, use this command. Let's zoom out a bit so that in case, all right, so I can do cat /etc or etc, and then the password file. And then mostly I look for anything that ends in bin bash. Okay, so if it ends in bin bash, it means it's a user. Like that's how I just do it. If there is anything that I need to know, at least we are all learning. So, all right. So looking through, I found these users at the bottom here, like HaskHell, Flask, and then Prof. And then I think there's mostly root at the top here that have this bin bash stuff. Yes, that is how I used to see the users on the system. So I know they are supposed to be in the home directory. So I do cd home, and then let me just clear the screen so that it doesn't get crowded. And then try to list almost everything inside the home directory. And I find Flask, HaskHell, and then Prof. Now I'm already Flask, and then I know that there's nothing inside my directory. But reading from the first start, it was supposed to prove that it's our professor who needs the assignment. Okay, so mostly if a professor needs the assignment, then that means he has something juicy in his system, or we can just check from there. Based on the file permissions, it looks like we can actually read the contents of most of the directories here. So I can just do a ls of the professor's directory, and then as I was saying, it was what we call a CTF. So you just cut the user.txt and then submit the flag. We're not going to submit flags today. So, and then I can, as I said, let's see what we have inside the HaskHell ls, HaskHell, and then looks like HaskHell user doesn't have anything inside. Let's list everything. And then, yep, it has interesting folder here that is .ssh, which mostly you'll be interested in because in the .ssh folder contains SSH keys, okay, where we can get hold of these keys and then be able to log into the system using SSH, okay, or through SSH. Now, from the nmap scan, we found out that there is an SSH port open. So if we get these keys, we can use the keys to log in. But I'm not going to try that because of some reasons here. Okay, now this is file permissions here. The first one tells us that it's a directory, and then there is RWX, which means read, write, and then execute. And the first portion of the RWX stands for the user or the owner, like the owner of the file. So it says that the owner of the file has read, write, and execute permissions. There's another 3 parts here that specifies the group that person belongs to. And it's saying that the group the person belongs to has no access to this file or this folder. At the same time, the last part here, which represents almost anyone, or anyone in the system. So if you are not the person who created the file and you're not in the same group, you can't access the file, or that you can't access the .ssh folder. Okay. And then if you want to check your groups, you just use the command groups and then your name for the groups Flask. And then you realize you are just the Flask, you're in your Flask group, so you are just in your own group. But let's check group HaskHell. Let's see if I don't know why I keep groups. I think that's groups, right? Yep. So we see that this guy is in these groups here, and then we are not in any of them. So that means we can't even access this. So it's not going to work out for us. So let's just try and then see what we can find inside the professor's place. So we can do ls-al on prof. And I think upon finding this one, which is the user flag, we're not going to submit today. He also has the .ssh, but this time look at what we have here. We have XR and then X. So anyone in the system, okay, you have read permissions and then execute permissions on this folder. Okay, so we want to read it. Okay, so let's see if I can get inside the file. So cd.ssh. I think I'm not there yet. So cd prof os /.ssh, and then I guess I don't know what I'm doing. cd prof. Yes, so cd.ssh. Is it .ssh? All right. So what if the first one work? Oh yeah, sure. All right. So now I'm inside it, and then I can list the files inside the .ssh. And now I'm seeing authorized keys, ID RSAs, and then public keys. Okay. Now, if I'm going to use the time to explain SSH private keys, it's going to be against our time. Okay. So let's see. Now, I'm interested in this one. Okay. The ID RSA here. I'm interested in this one. Okay. I'm interested in this one here. So since I have it here, I can download it on my machine and then use SSH to log in using this ID RSA here. Okay. So if in case maybe we can do that in the Discord sometime. Okay. So what I can do is open or set up a server here. Okay. So since there's Python, let me check Python 3. Since there is Python and I guess there's Python 3, I can set up a server here. Okay. So using Python 3 hyphen, is this C or M? It's M. Yep. http.server. And I can specify the port, but let's just use the default port it comes with us. So what I've done is I've actually started a server here, which is actually going to cause a problem eventually. So I've started a server here. Okay, I've started a server here, and then since it's a server, I can connect to it. Now it's using the any that was on my part. Okay, so the IP address I use here plus the port number will actually get me connected to this part. So I can download this ID RSA file onto my system. So this is my system. That is why you are seeing Troy here. Okay. So I can use a tool called wget to download from that. And then let's get the IP address from the HaskHell. All right. So it's past 8. Wow. Then I just paste it. Now I paste it there. And then I add the port number. Since looking here, it's adding a port number, which is 8,000. So I have to add a port number, else I can't access this particular interface or the content on the server here. Or I have to add the port number. So then I add our port number, then followed by what I want to download. I want to download the ID_RSA. That's what I want to download onto my file. So I click OK, and then at least it's not that a huge file. Okay, so it downloaded it for me, and then I have it here, ID RSA. So I can do that. All right. So now I can use this IDRSA file to log into the system. Okay, now let's see. So I can use a command like SSH and then plus the username at the IP address -I, which is going to ask me for what I want to use to log into, and then the IDRSA here. But it's not going to work like this, okay? So I have to specify the username, which we all know to be the prof, the @ symbol, and then the IP address of the machine. So I do like a paste. I don't know if I didn't actually tell you what I was doing. So I had access to the system as a lower privileged user, and then got a sensitive information that was the user.txt, and then I'm trying to escalate my privilege to a higher user by getting root or becoming root of the system. So that is what I'm trying to do here. There's a whole lot of things that went on the first time, okay? But then just to make certain things short, just going through however I came about it. So you do that and then add the -I, and then you add the IDRSA, hit enter, and I don't think it might even work. So let's see. If it works, then fine. If it doesn't work, all right, so it's asking me for a password. But we are not supposed to do that. And it says what? Load, the private key will be ignored. Load key, IDRSA, bad permissions, which means the permissions that are set on the IDRSA is actually bad. So I have to change the permissions. And then if you read a lot and then just like maybe read stuff on this one, mostly people change the permissions using the chmod command and then using like a 600 on what? The IDRSA file. Okay. So first checking the IDRSA, these are the permissions set to it, which means anybody can read it, and then I can also read and write to it. But if I set it to 600, and then I do the ls-al again, now let's see. I think like it now belongs to only me. I'm the only person who can now read and write onto that file. Okay, so that nobody now has access to the file, so that no one can also log into the system as me. That is if it was on my system or if it was mine. So I think setting that, we can go back and then try it again, and hopefully if it doesn't work, then oh my god, let's hope it works. Oh yep, it worked. It worked, and then we are logged in as prof. Okay, so we are logged in as prof, and then I can do the same process with the Python, but there's no time. So let's just go and root simple. Okay, so if you go through the siren security, I think it was Linux privilege escalation stuff, you'd get to understand the process I'm going through, because that is what I've been using for like a very long time. I just go through that one. Yeah. So the first time I'm in a box, even though I don't have password, root, let's say privilege escalations, I just try to run sudo commands at change. So sudo -l to see if I can run any command as sudo. Okay. So I hit open, and it's like, yeah, you can run user bin flask run. So I just try explaining this one. So it says, I don't know if I can explain it that well. Now I can run this command, user bin flask run, with no password. Okay, and it's going to run as the user root. And because it's sudo privileges, I can just do sudo user bin flask run, and it's going to what? Run as what? The user root. And then since it's running as the user root, I can leverage that and then get something back. Okay, so I can do sudo usr bin flask run. Oh man, this is what? Could not locate Flask application, which means I don't have a Flask application running. You did not provide the Flask app environment variable. Okay, so most of the times, if I don't understand anything like this, I don't stop. Okay, just Google search, and then let's see. I think I've done this one. So let's see how to add Flask app to environment variables in Linux. So I hit enter. Let's see, hopefully we might get some results on how to add a Flask app to our environment variables. All right. So it says, let's see what we can get. Flask app environment variables. setting and retrieving environment via command line interface, Flask documentation. It might not give us anything. Let's go to the images. I don't want to be opening stuffs. And now I'm opening stuff, so it doesn't actually have any relationship to do with what we are doing. But let's see. All right, so I think there's something here. So it says export Flask environment, but this here it's not a Flask environment we want. We want to export the Flask app equal to what we want to export, okay, or the Flask application we want to add to our environment variables. So I can come back here and do what? First of all, let's check our environment variable by typing env, and then from this place you realize there's no Flask application here. So I can do export Flask underscore app equal to app.py and then hit enter. And if I type env again, I think we can get Flask app here. But then this app.py isn't created, okay? So I can create the app.py, using the touch. Is it touch? That doesn't look like touch. That's weird. I don't use nano app.py, and then it gives me the text editor I used before. Now let me just type in random strings or like stuffs here. It's not random, it actually works. It has a meaning. So it's actually this way. Then / think user. I don't know if it's that one. I think it's supposed to be this one. And then let's just do a print hello, which will not even work. So let's just see. And then just Control X, and then do you want to save the changes? You hit on Y, hit on enter.
Try. I think you missed the closing quotation mark in your Python script.
Okay, sure. Let's see. All right. Okay. Yep. I think it's here. All right. So I think it's this one. Yep. And I think this week in the chat, people were saying that is it okay? Like, are you supposed to know programming to be like an ethical hacker? I don't know. Maybe you can decide from today using the Python something. Okay, so let's try running the same script again. Sudo user bin Flask run. Hit enter. Now, you see, it actually runs. You see, it's here. It runs. You see that we are getting an output here like hello, because that is what Python is supposed to do. It's supposed to print hello to us. But then we get some error says fail to find application in model app. Are you sure it contains a Flask application? Which means our application is not a Flask application. Okay, so what I did the other time is going to be that long. Is today I'm also going through some research stuff using ChatGPT. Okay, so just chat.openai. Let's not even use Anna. Okay, let's use ChatGPT. I think I have it in my something here, somewhere, so that I don't know much about Flask. Okay, so I use ChatGPT and told ChatGPT to generate a Flask application for me. Okay, so ChatGPT generated a Flask application for me, and I was able to run the Flask application. Okay, and then it will actually set up like a server, like the web server on the system where I can run certain stuffs. Okay, not this one, somewhere here. Yep. And then, so just this one, okay. I copied this and then went here back to my script and then just do the nano app.py, hit enter. I think this is it. And then since this one was working, I might not need it since like it's not actually doing certain things for me. And then let me just paste this one here, the code I copied from ChatGPT. And then let's save with Control X to like exit and then Y to accept the changes and then hit here. Now sorry. Now I do sudo user bin flask run. Yep, run. And now this time it has set what? A Flask application for me. It has running on something here port 5,000. And the first time I did it, I was asking myself, now how do I access it? Because this is locally. Okay, so what I did is just come back to the previous one, the previous part I have here to set the reverse shop. It's actually going to cancel out on me. So I did the same thing again. Okay, so I did the same thing again. Set up the Netcat listener, go back to my browser, and then re-upload my vulnerable stuff. Let's see if this will work. It did it for me. So now I have the shell back, and I'm still on the same machine, just that I'm there with two different users. So what I can do is in the Flask application, okay, if we can read from here, it says that if I'm to access this path API hello, I'm supposed to get this message, right? Yes. So I tried accessing this path from the server that has been created here for me. So on port 5,000 using this user, which is the Flask user. Okay. So I can do curl, which can use to make web requests. Okay. Curl HTTP. Now this time I don't need the machine's IP address. I actually need an internal IP address, which is 127.0.0.1 on port 5,000 and /API/hello. Hit enter. And now I get the message here. It gives me a response, which means now the time I was playing this machine, I was only thinking of getting the root flag. Okay. I was only thinking of getting the root flag. So this is what happens here. So I get the message back, which means the server setup here is actually working. And then we can see that I tried accessing it. So what I did next is since it's running with sudo, okay, we have that sudo, or let's say the root privileges. I also searched again on the internet, how do I read files using Python? Okay, so how to read files in Python. I search for how to read files in Python, and then I just get their syntax. So based on, I think there is this one here, how to read files in Python. And it's going to show me how I can read the files. How I can read files from, or let's say in Python. So I just click it, and then it takes me to a particular document here. Okay. It says I can create a variable f and then use this. Okay. So I copied this one. Come back to my place here. Now I need to go alter what? My this thing. A friend is saying my app.py. Okay, so nano app.py. Hit enter. Okay, so here, okay, where it says define hello, which is a function. So I can come here and hit enter. Now the syntax of Python is a bit somewhere so like that. I don't know if this is even going to work. It might be off syntax. Yeah. So I do this. Is it even in? Now it's trying to open what we call file.txt, but I know the name of the root flag or the root file I want to read. Okay. So it's just /root/root.txt. Now when I get that, I think there was this one that says f.read lines and this way. I didn't just know this offhead. Okay, it's somewhere here.
I think you made a mistake with the root.txt. You did foot instead.
Oh, okay. All right, sure. Thanks a lot. I didn't know that offhead. Okay, it's just so f.read lines, and I can print f. Okay, but then it's assigned it to a variable, so I can do this. So f.read lines, so I can do print f.read lines, but I want it to be here. Okay, I don't even know Python, so what I did is just omit everything here because I don't know. Oh shit, Python. I don't know Python that much. I just know just a little. So I just did away with it. I just cleaned everything here. And then I think came back to the top here and inserted this one. This one. How do people even arrange the keyboards? So I think I'm supposed to be back here. So I just do a print and I put this one inside this, like this way, okay. Yes, I do it this way and then, yeah, I think this way is going to work. So I save it and then now I set up the server again, sudo, and I do user bin flask run, and hopefully there's no error. So the server is already set up. So I come back to where I make the request, kel http 127, which is for a loop, which is like a loopback address, and then the port is 5000. So and then the path is API/hello, and I hit enter. And it gives me an internal server error here. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, what happened? So I come back here and let's see. There's actually an error in the server. But you see, I get the flag. So the first time I did the machine, I was like, yeah, I have the flag, so I've submitted the root flag and then there's no problem with that. So yeah. So like there was just the flag here, so I didn't care about how to get root. Okay, but then let's get root because that is the main aim of what we are doing here. How do we get root? So I have to just stop this server and then do something like so we were able to do something with the Python -m stuff and then do the pty. So I think if I do echo, which is to send a particular text into the app.py, so echo, think imports the same commands again, pty semicolon pty dot spawn. I think this this way, then bash this one, the other one. This one, is it going to work? Let's see. Okay, import pty.spawn, just like that, and then I actually replace almost everything inside the app.py. So I do app.py and then I hit enter. So just to check if it's actually there, I cut the app.py and I realize this is what's there. Let's see if I'm going to work. Let's see. So sudo user bin flask run. Let's hit enter. Sure. So I did that and then you realize I'm now root, and then all right, so that is it. And then now I was root in the system, even though I had already got the root flag. This is what happened. It looks like I used more than an hour and then almost 30 minutes. Yep. So that was it on HaskHell. I rushed through it because of the time, and then, yep. I think I'm done. Am I even still in the meeting?
You are here.
All right, so any question?
Your boss is watching you live. I hope you've seen him.
I haven't seen anyone in the chat. I didn't even go to the chat to see anything, so I don't know. Oh, okay, I've seen crypto, yeah. All right, so any question? Any question
I think there's someone with the hand up. Amos.
Okay.
Hello, please. Can you use JavaScript to do the same thing instead of Python?
Yeah, it depends because it was Python. I didn't choose to use JavaScript because if you check, it's Flask. Okay, it's a Flask application you're supposed to run. So I don't think using JavaScript would actually work because it was looking for a Flask or let's say a Python file. I don't know if you heard me or did I answer the question?
Okay. I thought because we are running using the same backend, so you can use the Node.js to do the same thing.
Unless it's looking for that file, okay. Unless it's looking for that file. If you have to use Node.js, it wouldn't recognize it. It's a Flask something I ran to get the roots. There has to be like a Python file.
Okay.
Any other question? I'm just calling you. Any other question? All right. So I've seen one of not only my boss, one boss in our chat, Crypto. Most of you might know him as I think his name is Tata Derek from Cameroon. Yep, it's Crypto. I think Crypto Insecurity. Yep. So we have Tata Derek in our midst too. Yep.
Hey, I mean, I thought I could hide. I thought I could hide with some funny names, so you don't know what's behind. I must admit, you're doing amazing. You're doing amazingly well with this. And what more can I say? I wish I started earlier too, like this. So one thing I want to underline is the fact that you're doing it, and when it doesn't work, people actually know that this didn't work. Unlike some other tutorials where you just see them doing it very easy and it works, you don't know they failed a lot of times before it worked. So I saw you doing some typing some stuff, it doesn't work, you try troubleshooting, going left, going right. I mean, that's something I actually commend, and that's amazing. That's so amazing. I mean, guys, keep doing this, keep doing this. Like we always say, I will never oversee this. Cybersecurity is the only field with a 0% unemployment rate. Once you are skilled in cybersecurity, you will always have someone chasing you for you to give you money. Like they're looking for you to give you money for you to work for them and so on. So keep doing this, keep practicing, so that when the opportunity comes, you will not have an excuse. So keep practicing. It's better you practice and wait for opportunities than not practicing and waiting for the opportunities. Even though when they come, you may not be able to deliver. But so far, so good. I'm totally impressed, guy. Keep pushing forward. Amazing.
Boss, I'm actually smiling and I can't stop smiling. You're actually in our meeting. Like, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had to go by. I just came back from work. I was about to go to get food. Then I received a link by this guy that waits on my neck. So,
Yeah,
Roxanne sent me the link, and I joined, and I've not even eaten. I've been sitting here watching and listening to you. So you owe me dinner actually.
Okay, so don't worry. I think I'll have to do that for you.
Yeah, congrats on this. Keep on. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, so any other questions? I think we've already used most of the time. It's more than the time. So if there are any questions, if there are no questions, I think I also need suggestions and maybe advice. Maybe I didn't do certain things well. I need those ones. Actually, the congratulations are okay, but at least the advice, like what he was saying, like just went to there.
For me, I think you did pretty well. I like the way you broke things down and all that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Maxam. I'm seeing Ryan. I want to hear a comment from Ryan. Yeah. As maybe I can stop sharing, right? Like if I can stop sharing now. So.
Yeah.
Alright, sure. All right. Let's see. I think there are some questions on the. Please, why didn't you go for another show, but you chose to read the file? Oh, and some loss. Amazing tutorial there. All right, so I think the floor is yours, Samuel, Maxam.
Yeah. Oh, so uh, um, did you guys enjoy today's session? I hope you guys enjoyed today's session. We'll be having sessions like this like every Wednesday, so you can just join in with us. Like every Wednesday, we'll have someone come to solve a box or hack the box or tryhackme or any platform of your choice. Yeah, just come and demonstrate something to us, and then we all learn from each other. Yeah. So that's what I have to say. If there are any other questions, like it doesn't have to be related to what we've done today. It could be any other question. You can just ask and then we'll address it. If there are no questions, then I guess maybe we can call it a day. All right. So it seems that there are no other questions. So we can call it a day. And then we'll meet same time next week. All right. Bye.